respect of Eldoro Girls High School, St. Patrick's Naitiri High School, S.A. Colonia Boys High School, St. Thomas Aquinas Madende Secondary School, Seco Girls High School, Kanyawanga High School, Kitumbi High School, and Mivumoni Secondary School. 3, Auditor General's Performance Audit Report and Financial Statements on Contracting of External Loans for Public Development Projects for the year ended 30th June 2023, and the certificates therein by the National Treasury. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. Honorable Charles Ngusia for CIOC.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay the following paper on the table of the House today, Wednesday, 22nd November 2023. Report of the Constitutional Implementation Oversight Committee on a study to the Republic of South Africa from 21st to 25th August 2023. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Next order. What is out of order, Honorable Ikiara?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, can the honorable member correct the information, false information, that the papers are being laid on our Wednesday? Well, today is a Thursday. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Honorable CNN, did you say Wednesday?
Thank you. Today is Thursday. Thursday, 9:30.
Honorable members, you'll forgive Honorable CNN. We are not usually having morning sittings on Thursday. Maybe that is the reason. Next order.
Order number 6, notices of motion. Order number 7, questions and statements. Order number 8.
Honorable Deko, what is out of order? The reason you have to wait a while is because you are not using the intervention button.
Oh, okay. Thank
You don't
Madam
have a card?
Yes, I forgot.
Honorable members, you'll carry your cards to the House at all times. Not raise your hands. Honorable Injedi, carry your cards to the House. Honorable Deko.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I stand to bring to your attention that on the 18th of October this year, I made a statement on the floor of the House requesting for an answer from the Departmental Committee of Social Protection, and I was given, you gave the direction, or the chair gave the direction that I will get the reply within 2 weeks. On the 8th of this month again, I had another statement regarding abduction of 2 of my constituents who are still missing. And despite my protest that that time, that 2 weeks will be long, we settled as per the direction of the chair at the time. However, to date, I've been trying to chase around to find out whether these statements have been answered, but nothing is forthcoming. I need direction from and guidance from the chair. Thank you.
Honorable Deko, you said social protection and which one?
Internal Affairs.
Who is the chair? Social protection? Not in the House. Who is the vice chair? And this takes us back to the discussion by the majority leader. The chair has to be in the House. Who is the vice chair? Social protection? Also not in the House. Any member? Majority leader, you will take this one. Please, do what you have to do, but these statements need to get to the House. And honorable members, you know we are almost breaking for the long recess, for 2 months. These statements should be processed before then. Honorable Tongoyo, Chair for Internal Security, also not in the House. Okay. Vice Chair is around. Can you comment on it?
Thank you, Madam Chair. When I'm around, Honorable Tongoyo is also around. We were in discussion with the ministry, but the PS and the CS were not available since Tuesday. But they already have a response. So from this sitting, I'll be able to follow up so that we'll be able to deliver that even this afternoon.
So can it be done in the afternoon today?
Yes, I'll chase up with the CS or the PS.
Okay.
Thank
Honorable Deko, that's all right?
You're right.
Thank you. Next, Honorable Njedi, what is out of order?
Madam Speaker, actually my card is in the machine. I have the card. With the
I can see you.
Okay.
That is why I gave you the...
Madam Speaker, I also did raise a question on 15th of August to the CS transport regarding a road A1, Kakamega Kabrengu. The status actually is incomplete and it's a World Bank sponsored project.
Did you raise a statement or did you raise a question?
A question to the CS, and there has not been any response to that effect, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Njedi, you know the CS comes to the floor to answer the question. So have you filed the question or did you request for a statement?
I filed a question.
You filed a question,
Yes,
which has not been scheduled.
Yes, Madam Speaker.
Yeah. Majority Leader?
Chair, there are a number of questions. You remember we put off the CSs this week and next week. So I just want to beg the members' indulgence to probably request for a written statement to be sent to the committee because of the pending government bills on Wednesdays. We were not able to have the CS, but at least that question was scheduled to be amongst the ones to be answered. But if the member would desire a written response, maybe we can organize to have a written response relayed to the member.
Honorable Njedi?
Madam Speaker, I would prefer actually the CS to appear as he does in the open
Then
plenary.
it should be in the batch to be answered the next time he appears, as the majority leader has confirmed. Next order.
Order number 8, motion. Consideration of the Consolidated Fund Services Expenditures for the Supplementary Estimates number 1 of 2023-2024. Question to be put.
Honorable members, I therefore put the question that this House adopts the report of the Public Debt and Privatization Committee on its consideration of the Consolidated Fund Services under Supplementary Estimates 1 for the financial year 2023-2024, laid on the table of the House on Thursday, 16th November 2023. As many as are of that opinion say aye. As many as are of a contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it. Next order.
Order number 9, motion. 1970 UNESCO Convention on the Means of Prohibiting and Preventing the Illicit Import, Export, and Transfer of Ownership of Cultural Property. Resumption of debate.
Honorable members, this is an ongoing motion. If you have spoken to it, I have 13 members who have already contributed, and we'll resume. We have a balance of 1 hour and 45 minutes. The first chance will go to the member for Mandera West, Honorable Adan Haji.
Thank you, Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. I think it is very vital to make sure that we pass this law such that our very important artifacts cultural heritages, and others which have been taken away by our colonial masters for many years should come back and be used for the benefit and the historical memories of Kenyans. At the same time, a lot of our indigenous products, such as the chiondo, and even some of our teas, which we grow and then they are relabeled and mixed with other teas there, and they become patented by other countries. And therefore, they enjoy the right of ownership of those products. And this law should be enacted so that what belongs to us must be protected, and it should be report back again to make sure that all those products that have been patented by other countries, for example, this basket called chiondo, which is the Kenyan basket, produced, made by our mothers for many years here, are now patented in Japan. So if we want to put chiondo into the international market, we have to go through Japan instead of us doing it directly and benefiting us. Also, as far as cultural heritage is concerned, our cultures are slowly eroding. I sincerely thank our community called Maasai, who has kept their culture and who is marketing their culture and bringing a lot of foreign currency into this country. It's not that the other communities of Kenya do not have cultures that can attract tourists, that can bring money, that can earn hard currency into this country, but unfortunately, slowly and slowly, our cultures are disappearing. We are emulating foreign cultures in terms of our dress, in terms of our eating, even in terms of our walking style. And this, I think, should end, and we should be proud of our heritage, we should be proud of our cultures, and we should protect what belongs to us. With these few remarks, I support. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Karoli Omondi.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, for the opportunity to speak on this matter. I rise to support the motion, but let me begin by expressing some concern that has bothered me for a while. I'm aware that the particular convention in question, the UNESCO Convention on the Means for Prohibiting and Preventing the Illicit Import, Export, and Transfer of Ownership of Cultural Property, 1970 Convention, and its sister convention, the 1954 UNESCO Convention for the Protection of Cultural Property in the event of armed conflict, or popularly known as the Hague Convention, have been in existence for almost, the first one for over close to 70 years. I'm very curious why Kenya is not among the first 143 countries that signed the 1970 Convention and the 135 counties that have signed the Hague Convention. Madam Speaker, cultural property represents the collective human knowledge and represent our common heritage. It is therefore important that we adopt multilateral global frameworks to preserve as well as to combat illegal trade in them and assist countries who are interested in getting restitution and return of their artifacts. Scientific, historical, artistic, or religious material, if you look at them, represent sometimes very indigenous knowledge. For example, in this country, we have family planning techniques from the coast that are not patented by way of scientific patents, but which are very effective. And these items, as well as the other knowledge that humanity has gathered along the years, it's very important that we protect them. By ratifying this treaty, Kenya will be able to access global inventories of our cultural items but also to have the import, export, and exchange mechanisms that will help us trace where our cultural heritage are. We will also be able now to enjoy the benefits of a global criminal justice system so that we can trace and track those who have traded in our cultural items illegally, but also enable us to have information sharing, support educational tours, and most importantly, assist in restitution and return mechanisms for our cultural items. Let me just mention a few. In total, it is estimated that we have 32,500 artifacts of Kenyan origin spread all over the world. Some we have been able to recover and return, especially between 2011 and 2022. In particular, in 2011, we received 39 vigango from California State University in Fullerton. And that in 2019, we received another 30 vigangos, which were repatriated from Denver Museum of Natural History. 2022, Illinois State University repatriated 37 vigangos. And in the same year, Indianapolis Museum at Newfields sent another 18 vigangos. But there are so many cultural artifacts that we have identified their location and are working, and Kenya should pursue their return. We have the Islamic manuscripts of the Witu Kingdom, which were repatriated in 1890. We have the Throne of Chairs, Viti za Enzi, kutoka Pwani, which should be returned. We have several similar household items which are at Pitts Rivers Museum, which left the country in 1895. We have the Pukomo Sacred Drum, Gadzi, which is at the British Museum of History, repatriated in 1900. Most importantly also, we have the remain and personal leadership items of Koitalel Arap Samoe, which were repatriated in 1900. And as I've mentioned, there are still other 18 vigangos at University of Wyoming Museum. And then we have the famous Ghost and Darkness Man-Eaters Lions of the Savo, which are at the Fields Museum in Chicago. These lions actually were taken over by Lieutenant Colonel Patterson after he killed them, and he used them as a rug. He used to sit and drink whiskey on them. But in 1924, he sold them to University of Chicago for $5,000, and they're still there, and we need to return them. We have 80 Kamba ethnographic collection at Rottenstruck Jost Museum in Cologne, and there are 550 Kenyan cultural collections at Wilcotton Museum in Frankfurt. Those are just some of the examples of the 32,500 cultural artifacts having Kenya as their origin, which are spread around the world. So, Madam Speaker, it is very important that we endorse the ratification of this particular treaty, but also call upon the government to, as quickly as possible, begin the process of ratifying the 1954 Hague Treaty, so that we can recover all this invaluable cultural property of the Republic of Kenya. With those few remarks, Madam Speaker, I fully support. Thank you very much.
Thank you. The next chance will go to the member for Tarbo, Honorable Janet Sitiene.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I also wish to add my voice to this motion. On the onset, I want to support this motion because it is significant that the cultural properties belonging to the Republic of Kenya have in the past been exported to other countries, and it's time that we actually accepted to approve the ascension of this convention so that Kenya can actually receive back or get restitution of such cultural property. Madam Speaker, the process of ascension is very necessary as it speaks directly to the sovereignty of the Kenyan state and its people. The benefits include economic, cultural, and social benefits, and our identity to have back these artifacts. I want to cite one in case. We have, during the British colonialism, one of our greatest leaders, was killed. And his head was taken by the British. And up to date, Koitalel Samoei's skull has never been returned. We know there are other artifacts that have been returned, but we still want to use this opportunity to demand back his skull so that we can honorably bury it in Kenya. So, Madam Speaker, I really support this ascension of the 1970 UNESCO so that the import, export, and transfer of cultural properties can be preserved and protected, because that actually is our rich cultural heritage that we have, and we need to conserve it. We need to protect it jealously, and we need to get restitution for the many artifacts, just like my honorable colleague has mentioned, that there are so many of them outside there. And therefore, as Kenya, as a country, we need to get back those artifacts. And therefore, I stand to support this motion so that Kenya can be part of it, and more so that me, as one of the leaders of the Kalenjin, can have back the skull of our freedom fighter, Koitalel Samoei. So, Madam Speaker, I want to support this motion that will allow our country to get back our rich heritage so that we can preserve it for our generations that will come for posterity. Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me this opportunity so that I can support this motion that we need to preserve, to protect, and conserve our rich cultural heritage through restitution of our artifacts. Thank you, Madam Speaker, for the opportunity.
Thank you. Member for Saku, Onaboraso.
Thank you very much, Honorable Madam Speaker. I rise to support this particular convention to be approved by this House for Kenya to be part of that global entity that looks at many things. First of all, the countries in the West, or those so-called the developed countries, are very particular about the intellectual property rights. That had they been the ones who came up with things like M-Pesa, today M-Pesa, using it will be very expensive for all the other countries that never invented it. But at the same time, they'll be making whooping billions out of that particular invention. In this particular case, Madam Speaker, for those of us in the developing world, during the colonial days, even today, a lot of artifacts are being taken out